The next question that we got was, why bulk? Okay, so we know what bulking is now. Bulking is simply eating above your maintenance level calories while lifting heavy enough to build muscle. So some of us lift heavy enough, but we don't eat enough in order to supply the actual muscle building. Why? Why would a person bulk? It's different for everyone. For me, I'll tell you some of the reasons why I choose to bulk. I choose to bulk because I lifted heavy and ate little for a very long time. I did everything that I thought was right, everything that I read in the magazines, but I didn't look like the people in the magazines. As I did a little bit of more research on what went on behind the scenes and how the competitors got to look that way, I would look at things like in Oxygen magazine. I don't know how many of you are current readers or you used to read Oxygen magazine, but it came out about 1998, I believe, maybe earlier. But when the magazine first came out, they would feature these competitors that had, you know, these nice muscular physiques, and it would always have this little box on the side that would give you their stats. It would say their height, their weight, where they live, you know, but it would give you two weights. It would give you their competition weight and then their off-season weight. The more I looked at that box and at the model and compared their height and weight to my own and things of that nature, I started noticing that not only did a lot of them weigh much more than me, you know, because I'm a very short person at 5'2", and some of these 5'2" ladies were weighing maybe 130 pounds, which to me was outrageous because I was like 100, 105 maybe. Or that was my goal to get down to. I didn't stay there long once I hit adulthood, but that's what I thought because that was my high school weight. I thought that is what I was supposed to weigh. And so I went to 108, I think was the lowest that I ever got, but I still didn't look like them. So I thought maybe I needed to lose more. But looking at the fact that many of them were weighing, you know, 130, maybe 135, 140 in their off season, it made a little more sense. And even in their competition, they maybe weighed 115, 120. So even when they're on the stage, they were weighing more than I was at my lowest weight. So I was killing myself trying to go down in weight, thinking that it would help me to look like them. And it took some time to realize and actually read and dig a little bit deeper to find out that these ladies had gone through bulking cycles to build muscle. And I also realized how hard it was to build muscle. It's not easy. I don't know why we ladies tend to think that we build muscle so dramatically, like, oh, I lifted a couple weights and, you know, because we get a little pump in the muscle and we think that we're huge and we gain muscle, when typically we didn't. And that is what was happening to me, because every time I ate a little bit more or lifted really heavy or got that pump in the muscle, I thought that I had gained enough muscle. But as I read and researched more, I realized that it took many of those ladies years before they looked like that. Because that's another thing, is I was looking at these models in my 20s, and not only did many of them weigh 10, 20, 30 pounds more than me, they were also 10, 20, or 30 years older than me. So that was something that I also realized, was that they had a muscular maturity level that I did not possess. Even if I got my body fat low enough that there was some definition, it was still not the level of muscularity that these women had. So if I wanted that level of muscularity, and remember, I am not talking about steroid muscularity. I'm talking about curves and just, you know, muscles that look like muscles when you're just chilling. That's all I want. I don't need it to be something drastic. I don't need to have 5% body fat or anything like that. That is not my goal. But my goal is I want things to stay firm as I age. You know, as the skin starts loosening and my metabolism slows, I'd like to have some muscle there to help counteract that, because with muscle you have higher metabolism. You have to feed those muscles. I like to eat, so I actually enjoy now weighing a little bit more because it looks better on me, because of the fact that the density of the muscle is not necessarily that muscle weighs more. It's because I'm putting on muscle, so I weigh more. And I also enjoy actually carrying a higher body fat percentage now than I did then, which is one of the pluses to me of having more muscle. Because the less muscle you have, the less fat that you can have before that muscle can be seen. So the more muscle that you have, you can kind of have a normal body fat percent level instead of having to cut down so low to have it. So I bulk because I want muscle. I like having a fit, athletic looking physique. I get better results from bulking because the muscle comes on faster, not super fast, but faster than if I just did a body recomp, which I'll talk about in a bit. It helps to reset my metabolism. I'm able to eat a little bit more every year versus the opposite, which typically you would eat less every year, you know, technically when you weigh it out, because you're getting older. But I eat more now than I did in my 20s. So I appreciate that because I like food, and I was just shooting for things to kind of maintain so that I could keep eating the same amount as I did in my 20s, but I eat more because of the fact that I've allowed myself to put on a little bit more weight. And I actually, after my first few bulk cut sessions, I actually went back down to the same pant size that I had at the beginning of my very first bulk, which was a size 2. So that was pretty amazing to me because I never thought that I could weigh that much, which is 130 now, which is the same that I was looking at those other ladies, and still wear a size 2. So that kind of amazes me because, like I said, the muscle is denser than fat. So even though I weigh a little bit more, it takes up less space. So right now I'm still wearing the 2s. Who knows where I'll be after this bulk? I may actually finally move up to the 4s for good. So that's why I choose to bulk.